Good afternoon. I'm really happy to have the brilliant Ian Brown here, and he's going to be sharing his experience of the professional coach diploma with Optimus. He graduated a couple of months ago now.
May. Gosh, time
Right.
flies. Yeah,
Yeah,
May.
so a couple of months ago now.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about where he was when he started, his experience, and where he was at the end. I always think these kind of stories, so you can think about how they relate to you, help. So, Ian, would you like to share with everybody where you were when you started?
Yeah, so I started in September
Mm,
on the diploma. So, and where I was, so I'd done coach training before. So, in the sense of I had 2 years prior to that, I'd done a master's in coaching with Oxford Brookes.
mm,
And I'd finished a year of doing my dissertation, which was actually in the mentoring side
mm,
of things. And and yeah, I signed up, had a bit of the summer to do all my background reading, and then started with Optimus in September. And then it's like the roller coaster once you get on the train and you're off and you're acquiring lots of new skills and learning lots of things, and on you go. And suddenly May arrives and you're
Suddenly
there.
May arrives, and you're there and you've finished,
Well, you're there and you go into doing like your assessment and then you're finished.
and then you're finished. Yeah.
Yes.
So what you shared there is that you'd already done your masters in coaching with Oxford Brookes. So
Yeah.
what made you come to Optimus after already doing that training?
Yeah, so I get asked this a lot, and I'd say
Yeah.
they're different and complementary in the same way.
Mm,
So I didn't know of Optimus when I first started going down the master's route,
mm,
and but I love doing the masters. I think it was my first exposure to getting under the skin of the kind of psychology of adult learning, why we believe the things that we believe, why we behave the way that we do. There is a
mm,
bit of a quirk when you're doing a master's, is though you're actually learning a lot of that from a theoretical perspective. In a weird way, towards the end, I started doubting my ability to turn that into practice.
mm,
And so joining Optimus was about me taking some of the things that I learned, learning lots of new things as well, because there are things that I've learned on Optimus that I didn't see on my masters, but really challenging how do I turn this into a reality for clients, because that's what we all come to coaching for, right? We want to make a difference. And rather than just writing essays on it, I going, you've actually got to go out there and do it, mate, at some point in time. And yeah, it's a perfect combination of the two.
yeah. So it's complementary. So, and I always say this, a like I definitely, I'm a massive fan of university level training, but it is different. Like this is
Mm,
much more of a practical course,
mm,
the doing, the applying
mm,
and the doing. So what
mm.
was your experience like at Optimus as a student?
Well, so you got a number of things running completely in your favor, right? So a lot of the tutors, first of all, are out there doing it. So you can
Mm,
ask them anything about, so you will learn
mm,
elements of psychology and you will learn transactional analysis and somatics and various other things in there. So you
mm,
are learning elements of psychology and adult learning through Optimus anyway. But you can stop at any point in time and you can say, but Ruth, how does it actually work in practice? And your
mm,
your trainers know because they're doing it. And they know
mm,
where it works, they know where it doesn't work. They're also humble enough to tell you that I tried doing this and it actually didn't really work it didn't work in reality how I'd intended it in my head. And that's reassuring when you're first starting out, because you kind of think everybody's perfect and you're the one
yes.
that doesn't really know. And your trainers are super humble and they'll tell you all about their own process of going through there
Mm,
as well. And you do need to know that as a student, because you can be slightly intimidated in there. And you get a group of people who are on the same journey with you. We have a WhatsApp group and we're all chatting and we can all share our own insecurities. You join once a week, you do some learning, and then you get to put it into practice, sometimes for like a whole hour. So you really are challenging yourself to kind of go,
mm,
how much did I take in from the learning? Because I think mine was on a Monday, so it's 4 hours, probably about 2.5 hours of instruction and an hour of putting it into practice. And I just thoroughly enjoyed it. It just worked for me as a learning style.
Go and get Daddy. Go and get Daddy.
I got it. Don't open the oven.
No, just go and get Daddy.
I got it in the oven.
Sorry, apparently the cupcakes are burning.
Oh no. Well, we don't want Ruth's
I was
house.
like, go and get Daddy. Go and get Daddy. Go and get Daddy.
We are live with
We are live.
If you see smoke going past Ruth's,
yeah, there is no smoke going past my head. The cupcakes have only been in for 5 minutes, so I do not believe they're burning. I believe they might be brown. And I've got a slightly anxious child. He's like, they're gonna burn. We've got 3 lots of them anyway, so.
Good. Where were we before
saying, like having that dedicated time to practice as well.
Yeah, and also I think having you also get a mentor as well, and so you have both group mentoring, so that's really good because sometimes you're not sure of something but you don't know how to ask the question. In your group somebody will ask exactly the question that you couldn't really find the words for, so you get to learn a lot from other people because different people are at different stages in there, and some people are already active in business and some people are actually starting to learn, and then you get your own mentors as well. And I had the fantastic Lizzie, and we could talk about anything, but it's just great to have somebody who's there to kind of catch you when you're having that little bit of a wobble of confidence, and also to celebrate your success, because you are getting successes quite early on, and sometimes you just need somebody to kind of bang you on the head and kind of remind you of that instead of being paranoid about the things that you can't yet do.
Yeah, I think it's so important, isn't it, to look at the things that you can do.
Yeah.
So lots of wins, lots of successes. What would you say your successes were from doing the course?
I think what it did really early on for me is it pushed me to get out there and do it. I think a lot of us who get into coaching get stuck in this thing where we think, I'm not quite qualified enough. I'm not quite expert enough. I'm not quite this enough. And actually, right from the outset, because you do have your target of your coaching hours to achieve in there, was at some stage, mate, you just have to get out there and do it. And when you get out there and do it, it is nowhere near as bad as you think it is in your mind. And I think you realize that in life, there is always going to be nearly always going to be somebody who's more expert than you in something, and behind you, there are going to be loads of people who are less expert, and you just need to kind of get over yourself and get out there and do it, because it's the only way you're going to know. Because we kind of rehearse coaching in our head. At a certain time, you just got to do it, and that's how you know. So I think it was the courage to go and do that. I picked up lots of business tips along the way from people who were running it as an active business, which I wasn't originally intending to do, although I did get my paid clients quite early on in there as well. But yeah, it's along those lines.
What's really interesting is you just said you weren't originally intending to do the business, but then you got the paid clients. So where are you now, Ian? Because I remember you saying, I'm not going to set up a coaching business. I'm doing this for interest. And I love these people because I'm always there like, okay, let's see.
I think I was I'm not willing to put so much pressure on myself on the business side that I'll compromise the learning in there. And I probably, even if I had my time again, I probably still, me knowing me, will still subscribe to that as a philosophy. That said, when you get your first paying client, it feels really different in terms of what you want to do for them and what you aspire in terms of client service delivery. It pushes you into the business element of my contracts, my insurance, my contracting, my client management systems, and all those other things that when you do your pro bono stuff and they're not featuring quite so heavily. So I have 4 people that I'm working with as paid clients now, 2 of whom were with me relatively early on in my Optimus journey, and then they've renewed on coaching packages. So the way I do it is I'll give them a block of time that they can then work around the challenges and the cadence of what they need, and then I've got 2 of them on renewals and 2 that are on first cycle at the moment. And against what I do, because I'm working full time as well, that's perfectly doable.
Yeah, and you're working full time and doing the course as well.
And it's actually far more doable than it felt doing the masters. I can tell you that. Doing it alongside a full-time job, it is doable. You need to focus like everything, right? You do, but it's perfectly doable in there. And you will find with Optimus anyway, if you're having a bad week and something, life is just really not going according to plan, just say, everybody's really realistic about we have lives. Things don't always go according to plan.
Yeah, they don't. And I think that's one of the things that we realize as well, that it's about the individual and supporting the individual, whatever's going on in your life.
Yeah, and it took me a while to adjust to that because, I'm like a goody two-shoes at school, right? So, I think we were on a family holiday and it was like we were in the wrong time zone. I was trying to join my Optimus training course on the dodgiest of Wi-Fi signals.
Yeah.
I had to just say, I'm just really disturbing the other students. I don't think this is going to work. And everyone's going, it's fine. There's 4 classes running in parallel. We'll just slot you onto another one and you can catch up and whatever. Sometimes it's just all on us. We put all the responsibility on us when actually people are around to help.
Yeah. And remembering that you've got those people that can help as well.
Yeah.
So now, a year on, like really nearly over a year on from when you signed up, what would you say to somebody who was considering the training and was on the fence?
You've got to get off the fence. You'll be on there forever. Right? You can convince yourself, and I watched lots of YouTube videos, mostly people from the United States who have a particular way of both exciting you but also then making you feel completely inferior at the same time. It must be a particular thing that they can do. And you just have to, if you know that this is inside you, that you have an ability to connect and understand people, and you feel this kind of innate desire inside to help people understand their own thinking, and live the potential that's inside them, then you have to get off the fence at some point in time. No end of reading that you do will eventually take you to that point where you just have to get off the fence and put yourself in a position where you're going to get out there and do it, because you'll never know until you try. And the greatest likelihood, look at the entirety of my cohort, is how many people were there who just went, I just don't know if I can actually do this. And they are. They really are.
Yeah, I think that the vast majority of people who do the course go on to coach, but I think everyone who does the course goes on to use the coaching skills.
Yeah, and one-on-one coaching is one model, right? I'm still learning this from you at the moment, Ruth, in there. But one-on-one coaching is one model. Whether you're then adapting that into doing team coaching or whether you're doing that in other formats in there are the world is always really evolving as well. But you'll only ever get so far just sitting there and reading a book on it. It is, at the end of the day, and this was a big thing for me, right? Because I've never been a teacher. There are loads of teachers on there who are used to being assessed on their physical performance of something.
Yeah.
You have to just do it. Otherwise, you'll just keep reading books about it and it'll be somebody else's experience. And that will be a shame that you wouldn't bring that to the world.
I love that. Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Ian, for coming on here and for being such a fantastic student. I know I can't wait to see where you go next. If people are looking for you, you're doing everything under Ian Brown, aren't you?
Yeah, so you can say I'm Ian Brown with an E, which brings me down to ianbrown.coach. I'm still playing with niches and whatever. It's curious. Every time I gravitate to a niche, loads of people come in my direction and ask me for something else. So I'm still...
such a way.
Yeah, so I'm not yet tied myself down to one thing that is still yet to come. Just do it, guys. If you're listening to this, you're just thinking, if you've got this far, you just need to step over a line and just be a coach. Just be it.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you so much, Ian. It was great to have you here. And if you are considering joining us for September, we do have some special bonuses. So check out the links above, book a call with me, have a conversation, and we would love to have you on board. Take care.